Hey everyone, it's Cherrick here. I hope okay. I genuinely really miss you. We're going to be participating in a remote English class. I'm sure you already know that. But honestly, it's not that different than what we already do. So the difference for you guys, though, is that when you communicate with me, you're going to be doing it through email and through messages on Google Classroom. So get in the habit of checking your email, as well as just following up on any comments that you get on Google Classroom. But biggest things that you need to know is, number one, first of all, I have to take attendance, so I will be doing that and doing a check-in on Wednesdays and Fridays. So make sure you're doing what you need to do, that you're active on Google Classroom and finishing your assignments and asking me questions so that I can mark you as here. Make sure that you're checking your school email. And I have office hours. So those are going to take place on Tuesday through Friday. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, my office hours are noon to 2. And Wednesday and Friday, they are from 10 to 11. I'll make sure that I post that below. But that's just like what we're doing. So like if we're writing an essay in class or we're reading something in class and you have questions, it's just like when I circulate around the classroom and you're like raising your hand, it's the same thing. So I'm available from those times. So please make sure if you have any questions and if you're reading it outside of school hours, that you're writing stuff down and you're ready to ask me questions. And if you email me, I will answer those in the order that they come in too. So I know this is an adjustment for everyone and I'm happy to help you. I just wanted to walk us through the week. So here's the thing. You guys have to finish reading Hamlet by Wednesday. At that point, I want you to start coming up with what you're gonna write about. So I do have a chart I posted on Classroom to kind of help you brainstorm. But what I really want you to do is let me know. I posted a form so that you can tell me what first of all, what play you're gonna focus on versus what lens you're gonna focus on versus like your main point. So it's kind of just like a baby outline. And my goal is that that if you submit that, then on Friday, during what would be our class time, as we would be kind of discussing, brainstorming through some of the stuff, I'm going to be going through these forms and talking to you about any comments I have about like where you should look in the play, or if I think you have enough or if you should kind of rework it. So that is our big goal. You need to figure out what play you're going to focus on, what lens you're going to look through. And I also posted a bunch of like resources about Hamlet because it's like my favorite play ever. I mean, yeah, of course everybody dies, but you know, it's glorious too. And it's really like an ode to this like teenage fighting back and not being understood, not being listened to, and then really, but also being the only one in the room who knows what's going on. So, I'm sure you've had those feelings before. I know I did when I was your age. So I hope you take a closer look at it. I'm sorry we couldn't look at it together in person. And if you have any ideas about making class more interactive, I'm open to it because I really do want this to become more of a conversation because I didn't get into education so I could sit here and talk to you. I want to hear what you have to say about it. All right, then, so after Friday, when you give me just your main idea for your paper, I do need a formal outline written by Monday. So I guess I don't necessarily care if you're going to use bullet points or a traditional outline or if you're going to make a web and take a picture of it. I'm fine with all of that. You use your own method to send me something significant that would give you this 4-page paper about either Macbeth or Hamlet from whatever critical lens you're looking through. So again, just make sure that you are really thinking about that. And then also you're going to have to start thinking about a research topic, because that's sneaking up on us. I would definitely recommend, like, if you have an idea about what you're doing after high school, that would be a really cool thing to research, or also a local issue. Either of those would work really well, because what you're going to have to do that's different from what you did with your research or your argument essay with that research is you're going to actually have to do some of like your own study. So you're either going to have to find an expert, which the world is really tiny and everybody's just hanging out by their computer right now. So you can find an expert on almost anything right now that would do an email interview with you. So you either have to find an expert to interview, or you have to create your own study. So if, like, for example, if you wanted to look at how the opioid crisis is affecting people in northeastern Ohio, you could make a survey and you could talk about, you could ask people if it's affecting them firsthand, secondhand, thirdhand, and then grabbing some extra data like their age and their gender and their socioeconomic status, or whatever kind of factors you think could create some meaningful data. You could write that narrative according to that data that you get. So let's say you find out like that the opioid crisis affects everybody, whether they are a 7th grader or they're 72 years old, whether they don't have an income or they make $300,000 a year. So like, that could be really interesting. We could also, I'm just throwing it out there. You could talk about how the coronavirus is affecting people's everyday lives right now. You could look at different households, whether that is by location or, whatever. Whatever you're comfortable asking people for. And again, these surveys would be anonymous and that type of. So whether you are trying to find meaningful data through a survey, or you're going to find an expert in the field and go about it that way, either of those work. But that is going to be one of the sources that you need to have on your annotated bibliography, even though I already told you that we're not going to actually grade the annotated bibliography, but you need to have that as a source on your paper. And don't stress out about all these things that you're missing in life, because I don't know, you're like the only generation who's going to get to say, hey, I lived through that coronavirus and I had a virtual prom. We'll figure it out, and we'll make sure that things are special for you, okay? And just remember, this is the beginning of your life, like this part of your life would be the montage scene that would have cute music and, quarantine day 5, quarantine day 11, blah, 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 and they would skip through all the boring parts and get to the really exciting stuff. So just remember, there's exciting stuff to come.